Hi, good morning. So today I'll start about C. C is a huge language, and we'll just start with the basic types in C, or the basic parts in C. These are the contents, which consist of introduction, the tokens, constant and variables, operators and expressions, structure of the program, control structure, arrays and strings, functions, storage classes, structures and unions, pointers, and file management system. This is the whole syllabus of C, but it is quite impossible to complete it within 15 minutes. Clear? So I'll just go ahead for some points and some topics. Okay. So first, going to C. C is a programming language developed in the Bell Laboratories of USA in 1972 by Mr. Dennis Ritchie. Okay, so inventor of C is Dennis Ritchie. It's a highly portable language. Why portable language? Because you can easily work in any Turbo C or GCC plus or GCC compiler. Okay, so it is a collection of functions. Before it, there are some functions which are known as A and B. A indicates algol or algorithmic language, and BCPL is known as basic combined programming language. But as time changes, the version also change, so we have to implement some difficult problems. For this reason, we invented, or Mr. Dennis Ritchie invented, C. Now, what is the name of C? The C is known as compiled programming language, and hence it is made to an abbreviated form, C. Okay, so C language. Now a program basically, or in C, basically consists of a number of tokens. What are tokens? Tokens are basically small programs in the whole program, which are singular group characters recognized by the compiler. They are categorized into some formats which are called keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, special symbols, operators, etc. So in keywords are the float, integer, double, character. That means what should be used in the program that are already defined keywords. So we have to use it in the whole program. Now come to the identifier, means you have to know that what type of function I'm using, or what is the actual name of the function. These are identifiers. Constants are the values which cannot change, or the value of those which cannot be changed. And strings means a collection of characters like January, good boy, or your name, the alphabets which are collected to form a word, and that word, when they are combined, a number of words, it will form a string. Okay, and there are some special symbols like dollar, bracket, first bracket, second bracket, power, etc. And there are some operators which are known as assignment operator, addition, multiplication, redundant, etc. These are the operators. Okay, so there are in total 32 keywords which are defined in this way. You can see in the presentation that it starts with auto, then break, case, character, constant, continue, default, do, double, else, enum, external, float. Keywords means they are already defined by the developer itself. So you cannot change the name, or you cannot change any of the values or the letters. Okay. So now come to the data types. Right? What are data types? Data type means a type of the data. That means what type of value I am taking. Whether it is an integer value, whether it is a float value. Integer means it should be in a positive, or it should be in a whole number, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Float means it should be in point or in decimal fraction, 4.14, 2.1, 2.1, like this. Character are A, B, C, D, single characters. Okay. Double means it can consist of floating as well as integer values also, so it is a large amount. There are a number of data types, among which I have defined character, integer, float, double, void, signed characters, unsigned characters, short signed int, short unsigned int, long signed int, like this. And there are some bytes, which for characters it will take 1 byte, for integer is 2 byte, for float is 4 byte, for double is 8 byte. Up to this we know that. And then for void, that means void means empty, so it do not contain any value, so it has a size of 0. Okay. There are some range of the characters which starts from 0 to 255. For integer is minus 32768 to plus 32767, and for float it is some minus 21474836482, like this. That means in an exponential format. For characters, or from any other signed character or unsigned character, all of them are different. And for unsigned int, the value ranges from 0 to 65,535, like this. Okay, so you can also change it. Now come to the topic of constants and variables. I have used the keyword constants, right? Constant means which in the whole program, if the value doesn't change, then it is called a constant. Clear? And what is a variable? In the program, you can literally change the value of the variable. Suppose you are a constant. If you are running a program of area of a circle, then the value of pi will be taken as 3.14, which is constant. But in case of any other program, suppose you are addition of two numbers, you are taking the value of a and b, you can already change the value of a as 2, b as 3, or b as 2, a as 3. So these are called variables. You can already change the values. Okay, there are basically two types of variables. One is called a local variable, another one is called a global variable. So what are local variables? Local variable means which can be accessed to the whole program inside the function blocks, and global variable means it can be accessed outside the global blocks. That means when you are using the function, there are two types of function, which one is called the calling function, and another is called the called function. One is calling whom and who is called. This is the difference. Okay, so we'll come to the next. There are some ASCII values for each of the characters. Now the full form of ASCII is stated as American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Each character has a value. That means while I'm running the program, or I'm taking the value of A, B, C, D in capital or in small, they have some definite value, and the values will be taken inside the computer, right? For case of constant or variables, when we are giving for a string constant, then it will be taken as, suppose A. If it is a string constant, string means it should always be within a double inverted comma, right? And always ends with a null character. And if it is a character, then it will be within a single inverted comma. Now can you tell me a small difference between void and null? The basic difference I'm telling you is between null and void is that void means empty. That means it doesn't have any return type or does not contain any value. But in case of null, it should contain at least 0. This is the basic difference between void and null. Clear? Now come to some operators and their expressions. Now according to C, there are a number of operators, among which I have taken some small enough. They are the arithmetic operator, the logical operators, the increment and decrement operators, the conditional or ternary operators, the assignment operators, the relational operators, and the bitwise operator. Now what is the function of this operator? An operator is basically a symbol that tells the computer to perform certain mathematical or logical manipulations of data and variables. They will act upon the operands. What are the operands? Suppose I am taking two variables A and B and I want to add them. So I have to write A plus B and I have to store the information in another variable for further use, which is known as C. So I can write in a C program or in any way as C equals to A plus B. Clear? So how many operands are there and how many operators are there? Basically there are three operands, A, B, C. And how many operators are there? Two. One is the plus, another one is the equal to, right? Equal to is called the assignment operator and plus is called the arithmetic operator. Clear? So this is the function of the operators. I have to manipulate the values inside the program. I have to change. So for this reason the computer will say that you have to add this one or you have to check this one. Okay. Now this is the most important part of the C, which is the program part. A program is divided into three parts. First one is it can be described in an algorithm. Second one is a flowchart, and the last one is called coding. The flowchart is the diagrammatic representation of the whole program. I'll just describe it in a blueprint structure. That yeah, I have to add this one, I have to get this one. So it cannot be executed in the computer. It is just a drawing or the graphical representation. Next come to algorithm. What is algorithm? Algorithm is basically the step-by-step instructions carried out in the whole program. That means it is also a written process. It cannot be executed. What are the steps that should be taken to run the program or execute the output will depend on algorithm. Clear? And the last part and the most important part which is used in C programming is the coding part. Now the coding part is divided into three halves. First one is called the head, middle one is called the body, and the last part is called the tail. In the head part we use #include stdio.h or #include conio.h. These are called header files. What is hash? hash is called preprocessor, and hash include will call preprocessor directive. That means it is already processed by whom? By the developer itself. So you cannot change hash include or anything. stdio means standard input output files. That means you have to read the file stdio.h and include its contents into the file. For the same case, conio.h or the console input output, here you have to read the file conio.h which contains or includes its content in the file. This is called the header portion. Right? Now come to the body part. Which one is the body? The body starts from void main. Void means no return type. Main is the name of the function. We cannot store two main function or one main function within another main function. Right? So main function means this is the actual function. Inside the main function I have written a second bracket which will say that yeah, it is a block of the function. There is a closing bracket also, it is the block. Now after that I am writing CLRS here. CLRS here is called clear screen. That means if something is written on the screen before running the program, that will automatically be cleared up and you will get a clean and clear screen. Okay. Next I am writing integer ABC. Integer is the data type. That means the values that will be taken will be 4, 5, 6 or like that. If I am taking 3.14, like we will take in is float. So that there are three variables A, B and C. Now I am adding two numbers and I am storing the value in third variable. So here I am writing printf, enter the values of A and B. Printf is a function inside which we are writing the double inverted comma, that means it is a string. Enter the values of A and B. So whatever I am writing within inside the double inverted comma will be printed on the output screen. After that I am writing scanf %d, comma ampersand A, comma ampersand B. Now printf means printing on the screen. Scanf means you are scanning the values from the user. That means the computer is asking you that place some values or scan some values from the keyboard to the computer, right? So %d are called identifiers. That means the values that I am taking are integer value. For this reason I am taking the identifier as %d, and as I am adding two numbers A and B, so there will be two identifiers. Now if I am taking float, then it will be %f, right? Now if it is character %c like this way, and ampersand A and ampersand B means address of A and address of B. That means the first value that I am taking from the computer or from the keyboard to the computer is for A. The second value that I am pressing from the keyboard is for B, right? That means the first value, if I am giving A 2, that means it will go for A. Second value will go for B. Now I am adding the or doing the operation C equals to A plus B, and I have to print the value of C. So I am printing the value of C, and finally I am getting the output. And the last part is getch. Getch means getting the character. If it reads, the function of getch is it reads the single character from the keyboard without printing on the screen. Reads the single character from the keyboard without printing on the screen. Okay. Now here printf and scanf are stored inside the stdio.h. I am writing here printf and scanf, but behind printf and scanf function there is another function run or another program running. Those programs are stored inside the stdio.h files or header files with the extension .h. And for CLRS here and getch, they are stored inside conio.h or the console input output header files, right? So this is up to the basic program structure. Okay, now come to the last part. Up to this is the control structure. Control structure means some loop controls. One is called a control structure, means the flow of the statements or the flow or execution up to the statements. Control structure is divided into two parts. One is called conditional structure, another is called loop structure. A conditional structure means there must be some conditions which consist of if statement, if else statement, nested if else and switch statement. And the loop structure, it is defined in for, while and do while. So take an example here. I'm showing you an example in the PPT. For if statement, if the year is divided by 4, then it is a leap year. If year not divided by 4, then it is not a leap year. This is if statement. Then if else statement, same as if I'm getting something else, I'm not getting that something. If else if means it is a nested if statement. And switch statement means to which point I want to move. That is called the switch statement. That means I have to move to that part, or I want to do or want to move to that working purpose. This is